105 North Avenue 52.
Prepare to be fucked by the long dick of the law. This isn't happening. Everyone look away, please. Nothing to see here.
You can't break those cuffs.
Maybe. Make him away, Ty.
Welcome to Thought Cops, the only podcast where every week we police the mean streets of the internet because, hey, somebody's got to do it. And then we let you be the judge, the jury, and the executioner in the court of public opinion. Coming to you live from Neo Chicago, I am Officer Kevin.
And I'm Officer Grant. And if you're watching this, you might notice that Ian and I are wearing the same shirt or similar shirts.
I guess I didn't get the memo.
Yeah, Kevin, you're always making fun of me for my costume changes. This time it worked. This time it worked out.
Might just be crazy enough to work. Without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to...
Scrolling his phone currently. Yeah. It's okay. I'm also doing that.
We'll be doing that throughout the show, by the way.
Yeah, this is the show.
Anyone watching on youtube.com/thoughtcops. You can watch us do the show and go on our phones.
It's great.
Ian, do you have any games on your phone?
Yeah, I've actually been really, our friend of the show, Bruce, turned me on to, have you been playing Super Auto Pets?
No.
Oh, it's like a auto chess, auto battler thing, but it's just like, every round you're buying pets, they have abilities, they stack, they combo, but it's very quick and it's very fun and easy, and, it is one of those games that you can just kind of sink unlimited time into.
Wow. I like those games.
Yeah.
I need more of those games. I don't
download that right now.
I don't like the games where I need to learn like a skill, you know? Like, you use the shield and then you roll with the shield. You're impervious if you do a shield. I don't need that.
No.
I need to press a fucking baby an icon that appeals to a baby, just a big, bright colored, dumb looking with the big eyes, and it's bright and it's stupid looking, and you press it and it goes, like something like that.
Or like the Instagram targeted game ads where it's like the options are like divorce your wife or cheat on her, and then like the next thing is like make her bald. It's like a button.
Hell yeah. That reminds me of like what was the one game where you're like the gardener guy and it's like
the row. Is it that guy who's like in a torture chamber?
Oh yeah, and it's all like if it's not directly like a character from Family Guy, it's like totally just jacked in the style.
Right.
Well, today we have Ian Erickson back on the show. Ian, how you been?
I've been good. It's been we're kind of in the throes of summer. It's hot. It just was so hot recently.
How hot was it?
It was so hot that you know how they have that
thermometer?
I
don't know.
Wait, I got it.
Okay, yeah.
Let him finish.
Okay,
yeah.
It was so hot that they Sports Illustrated swimsuit. They put it in the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition.
Sorry, not beautiful. I don't care what the trolls say. Not beautiful.
Oh, here we go. We're kind of getting into the current events.
Speaking of current events, Ian, you are a comedian here in Chicago, and last time you were on the show, we talked a lot about a certain buccaneer, a certain pirate named Jack Sparrow. We talked about how we were really into Jack Sparrow of the Pirates of the Caribbean movie franchise. We got Sparrow pilled.
Here's the thing about that is technically I wasn't wrong. I mean, technically, if you were looking at it on paper, I was not wrong about being like talking about there was we were on the precipice of a sparrow-sance.
Right.
That has come into full effect, but it's kind of a true monkey paw situation where
Hey, it
you
happens.
can't let your sparrow flag fly without coming off as a total creep, and I mean with good reason because
I was going to say it's got to be hard for you right now. I mean,
I've been chased out of town so many times for my affiliation with. Before any of this was happening, thinking that someone who liked Jack Sparrow was funny.
You know what? Separate the. It's kind of like separate the art from the artist. Separate the character from the artist. You know?
Yeah, it's just like I don't honestly think that anything bad will happen from it, but
No.
like back at for the unaware, because why would you know who I am or anything that I've done?
Like the 4 appearances on Thought
yeah.
Cops.
Exactly, yeah. But like back in like 2019, 2018, I forget why I thought this was. I don't remember. I think I was going to. Okay, I got a. I think it was for a Ren Fair. I got a Jack Sparrow costume, like a really shitty like tri-corner pirate's hat with like there were like 8 like really shitty dreadlocks that came off of it, and then I got like a pirate shirt, like a blouse thing, and like a vest. And I used that. I think the excuse to buy that was I was going to the Ren Fair. But then also when I had this idea for a sketch that I thought, because I also just thought that like back then I also like, I feel like the well hadn't quite run dry of being like ironically into like characters or like,
Right.
I think like, you know, there were there was like a lot of ironic appreciation or people having fun with like thinking the Joker is cool,
with the Joker, the Grinch, these sort of larger than life characters.
Yeah. And so, like at that time, I thought that it would because I remember from my youth, like in my whenever the first Pirates movie came out, people did have like Johnny Depp fever and Jack Sparrow. They
do the eye makeup. They do
the Jack Sparrow flu. And they had those things. And yeah, I just remember that it was just like a flash in the pan thing. And so I thought it would be funny to revisit that in like 2018 or 2019. But I also had this idea for like going to downtown Chicago and just like filming me doing like on the street stuff and just editing something together. It was kind of cohesive, but it was like me being downtown and I think the only thing that I had for Jack Sparrow and thinking was funny was just he was always asking about where the rum had gone.
Right.
As he's known to do.
Right. And just thinking like, where's the rum? And just like going around downtown and asking people and interacting with whatever's going on. But then I thought it'd be really funny if he like finds the rum and the camera like zooms out and pans up and it's right in front of Trump Tower, but then the T and the P fade out, so it just says rum. And I thought that would be really funny. And we actually did shoot some footage for that. And I was very uncomfortable dressed like a pirate downtown. I wasn't even talking like a pirate day.
Yeah.
And
any other day of the year, it's kind of
dude.
awkward.
I set my Facebook language to pirate. And it's fun. You log in and it says "Yar, matey," and I'm like, yeah, cool.
It's just good fun.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Good fun that everyone loves. It's very fun, and I had been thinking about this, and I filmed some stuff back in like 2018 or 19, and I think at the time, I think it was like maybe just before or like around like when he and Amber Heard were like going through some rough patches in their relationship. I'm still rooting for them. I think they still can pull through.
I don't think that you're right.
Okay. Well, we'll see. I don't know who exactly is the Jack Sparrow expert between the two of us. Oh, maybe it's me with the dreadlock hat.
You don't own the stuff.
I don't own stuff.
Who's the expert here? The
fair.
guy who doesn't own any of the stuff? But so in light of this, I didn't pay attention to the thing at all.
That's good.
Yeah,
Because it went on for
good.
so long, and
I
also
didn't
it's just like I don't care. And also in hindsight of like how it ended up turning out, it's like it's definitely not a great outcome for however like that might shake. I don't know. But also it's like I think my decision on that is kind of I'm kind of taking a King Solomon ground where I think both of them should be cut in half.
Honestly, I think that's
I think all celebrities should be cut in half and kill them both.
I think that's perfectly that's in line with Thought Cops thinking because fuck it,
Put no effort into actual critical.
Well, because
analysis.
what does it matter? You know,
you're right. It doesn't matter.
It's a big distraction, and like I don't know. It's not. I've been seeing some stuff online about how this verdict will allow like abusers to sue their victims if they speak out, which is very possible. And just with the trending of like where it seems like the things in this country are headed, it's like, yeah, that seems like in line with like protecting the interests of kind of like where we're going.
I mean, I also feel like that's sort of just like what happens anyway. Like it's a whole fucking mixed bag, and I think
you can't win them all.
I think exactly. I think my problem with like a lot of I have like just a general problem with the sensationalization of like legal battles when most of us aren't lawyers, and like the legal system with all of its imperfections and how it doesn't work the way that we think that it does. It's hard to follow these things and not know what the fuck that is happening while having very strong opinions on what's happening. And also it all gets tied into everything. And then people are like, I don't like it. People are asking, this is why I don't fucking pay attention to the shit.
They're like, am I still allowed to like Pirates of the Caribbean? Is that allowed?
No. No, it's not. Did you see the verdict?
Kinda. I mean,
it said you can't. It says it said you can't like the Pirates of the Caribbean anymore.
That's a problem.
Now I understand why you're upset about. I didn't know that happened. Fuck.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough out there.
Right. It's a lot. There's a lot going on. It's just.
No, but it also is just like they both have like hundreds of millions of dollars, tens of millions at least. Like whatever happens to them, who cares? Like they'll be fine.
Yeah, they'll be fine. They'll land on their feet. Don't worry.
I mean, I think that it's representative of like, sort of like this extension that is like how Hollywood just sort of sits atop American culture, and how it's like, there's points to be made, regarding all these things. Like, this does make people look at like domestic abuse in like a different light and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's like the Will Smith versus Chris Rock thing, where it's like, like don't go around and hitting people, but also like out of everyone that could hit anyone, the ramifications for this are like the smallest personally. So like I don't really care about it. Let's talk about that more.
Yeah. So who do you think okay, so Who do you think won versus the Will Smith versus Chris Rock? Who won?
I think
whoever wins, we lose.
Well, no, because it's just like I think in terms of the public eye, Chris Rock probably comes out of that better overall in general. But then who do you think wins, Chris Rock or Johnny Depp?
Oh man,
would be so epic,
dude. The looks on everyone's faces.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is why we need Celebrity Deathmatch to come back.
Honestly.
Yeah.
But also fill a hole that's much needed to be filled.
With the Johnny Depp stuff, it's like it's also just so insane to see all the freaks who came out to like, I swear to God, I now see like every like I feel like I've seen like 10 different like TikToks or things come up where people are dressing like Jack Sparrow in like support of Johnny Depp. And that's the stuff that I'm worried about, where it's like, I do have stuff where I made, it didn't go in, it has like 10 followers probably, but I made like an ironic Jack Sparrow Twitter account. And there's pictures of me dressed as Jack Sparrow from like 2018 or whatever. But I'm just like wondering.
It's a different time.
It's a different time, but like, I also feel like with and I also don't know, like, cancel culture, whether how you feel about it, it does seem like it's maybe, I don't know if it's maybe going away, because like the idea of like collectively getting people to like bully you online or like, make your livelihood at stake or whatever. I don't know if that's necessarily going away. But like the idea of like cancel, like it seems to be maybe defanged from like what its original purpose was. But it's like, the people who would go through that wouldn't analyze. They wouldn't like see a picture of a guy dressed as Jack Sparrow. They wouldn't see me dressed as Jack Sparrow if they were like looking to like pick a fight or like, like
your last Thought Cops appearance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Boy, we're going down with you. That's a problem.
Yeah. Well, you have to be deplatformed now.
Down with the ship. That's what they say.
The black
nautical.
Well, I'll see you all in Davy Jones' locker room.
I'm trying to think of what would Davy Jones' locker in these Davy Jones.
You got Kevin Spacey down there.
Davy Jones is his TikTok feed, his Davy Jones Discord.
Davy Jones timeline.
Oh yes, the time the your.
Did you just say JV Dones?
I don't think so.
JB Dones.
I heard
JB Dones.
I don't know. I heard what I hear.
Wow, we'll let the listeners decide what the hell I just said because I couldn't tell you. Well, let's move on to a little bit of show news of our own. As I said, subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/ThoughtCops. We're putting up highlight clips. We're putting up the video episodes. We're putting up the
interviews with Elon Musk.
The craziest crap you could only imagine. Check it out, youtube.com/ThoughtCops. Follow us on TikTok @ThoughtCops, on Instagram @ThoughtCops, on Twitter @RealThoughtCops, because we got to get that guy who's sitting on the old domain.
Is he sitting on it because of you guys, or
no?
He's probably dead by now.
He's just a hick from the sticks that he has to have that.
We have a working theory that COVID might have done him in, but we cannot prove anything. So
I don't know. We got him suspended from like mass reporting it, but then his account went back up. And so I wonder if he got an email notification and was like, what the fuck is this? And clicked it back. I don't know.
Fucking bastard. He's the last boss of this show. As soon as we get our URL, we'll just stop doing it.
Honestly, that's fair. It's a good milestone.
That being said, let's move on to a very famous, very favorite segment of the show called 2 Minutes of Hate, where we like to blanket punish all that annoying random crap that we see on our phone screens and our computer screens every single day of the week. My 2 minutes of hate this week is the phrase, one of the best to ever do it. I'm sure you guys have seen this at least once or twice. Ian,
no.
maybe.
Is this a new thing?
It's something that
this is the first time I'm hearing of it.
It's something people say on Twitter when somebody passes away. Or
so you hate it when people pass away?
I hate it. Yeah,
you hate that people respect artists.
Death sucks. People should live forever. Yeah, but it's something you say.
Have you heard of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?
I may have heard of him.
I've been watching that show, The Righteous Gemstones. Have you guys seen that show, The Righteous Gemstones?
I've seen the first season. It's very good.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
I haven't seen it yet. One of the best
Are you a? Let's just say if you're a Christian, this show might not be for you.
Trigger warning. One of the best to ever do it. It's something, I think it was said for, I think it was a basketball terminology maybe, but it's something that, I don't know. It's just
the best to ever do it is a basketball terminology?
It might be. I don't know. It's just something I see on Twitter where people go there's a video clip of Norm Macdonald's stand up and they go, one of the best to ever do it. One of the best to ever do it.
Yeah, what is it? What is the it
stand
here?
Up. No one else has done stand up.
Whatever you're doing.
I guess it depends on what your definition of it. It
really does. It really does depend a lot on that. But it's something to spit out. It's some empty, worthless platitude you say when you have nothing to say, but you want to be noticed by the world. You fucking matter when you say something like this. One of the best to ever do it. What have you done? It's a high honor. One of the best to ever do it. Let's break it down. One of the best. Yeah, the best. It's the best and the brightest. One of the greatest minds in history. Okay, we can isolate that part of the sentence.
Man, I gotta say, Einstein, one of the best to ever do it.
Right.
I don't know what the fuck he did. He did some fucking math with letters.
And math. Yeah. E equals MC's.
Dude,
squared.
That doesn't MC what?
One of the best to ever do it. Rest in peace. Anyway, yeah, my punishment, because I don't want to talk about this anymore because I realize it doesn't have a lot of legs, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know examples of this.
Of the best to ever do it.
No, I've never seen.
It's when I brought in. Remember,
Michael Jordan. He played basketball, and a lot of people would say he was one of the best to ever do it.
I think my problem is on the show is I'm too ahead of the curve. Because every time I bring something in, I'm like, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? And then you guys are like,
maybe
no.
That's good.
And then a week or two later, they're like, someone is like, yo, I saw someone say the thing you were talking about on Twitter. And I'm like, remember last time I said the GOAT? A year or two ago? I'm like, when people are calling it the GOAT.
That's been around for a while.
Yeah, but it wasn't popularized until after I said it. And I have a schizophrenic theory that
Isn't that a Drake song?
Because of the show, yeah.
Whatever.
Just go back and double check that. The Thought Cops episode came out first.
I don't know if it is.
Then
but
the Drake song.
I think
and
that
then
it
all
is.
the sheeple.
I'm not a Drake head, but
he just came out with a new album.
so I've heard. I have no
it's
opinions.
called Honestly, Never Mind. And you,
Wait, no, Ian.
Is it called that?
Ian, come on. What's the name of the album?
the album is called Honestly, Never Mind.
Come on. No, you have to tell us. What was the name of the album?
I'm telling you. The album is called Honestly, Never Mind.
My
yeah, but
punishment,
like for real.
My punishment for I don't know, man. Like it's like a lot of this shit I bring in. It's just like it's something that people say a lot, and I'm like, I guess I got.
You just really hate people. I think.
No, I want to believe people are capable of more. You know, I think people really have a lot of potential. I think
AI
there's something,
bots.
There's
you put in
humanity.
Garfield at the Nuremberg trials, and you're like, yeah, this is funny. This is good content.
You know what? Honestly, the Dali thing, I feel like between this episode and the last one, I still like it, but it's definitely. I think that when we saw the limits of what it could do, I think we started to see
right, of course.
But also, you see, it's. I think kind of like what you're really hinting at is just how. I mean, not that it hasn't always been, but just how it the homogenization of like Twitter or like online culture, or just like it's like everyone's a comedian, or everyone like as soon as people see that people are scoring or getting points for posting their funny Dali, then it's just like mass rapid fire. Everyone's gonna fucking mass spam like their thing, and it's just like, you know, that you're conditioned to like seek that out. And not to say that people aren't coming up with funny stuff or whatever, but when you see it ad nauseum with like just like essentially like, oh, like the average one of these is just person with doing this, or like person doing something else, or like, you know, like what's kind of, it's just kind of like
it does
different degrees of rando humor, which can be fine. It can be funny.
Personally, I love it when it gets random.
It does sort of distill all of what I dislike about
Spork holding a bacon taco.
You,
that's
sir,
good.
You just won this episode.
Yes, sir.
You know that's my punishment, because like people act like that's what, you know what, I'm going to boil it down right now. People who talk like this act like they're better than other people, when it's like 10 years ago they probably were saying stuff like, you sir just won the internet. It's like you're no better than the people spitting out the same platitudes at that time and period. It just like, it's like eventually the things we're hearing now will become trite and boring and cringy.
That's like, I think you just struck a nerve with me.
Oh, thank God.
Because what you just said is why I feel like the way that I feel in regards to like the way that I use language and like what I do and don't associate with. And there's so much of me that looks at so much like popular shit, and me being like a 90s alt kid, I'm like, I can't do the popular shit. And I feel like it's alienated me. And, you know, back when, yes, you, sir, Epic Bacon, here's your Reddit gold. Back when that was popular, I was like, no, I'm not. I can't do that. I can't talk like that. I can't talk like that.
Yeah.
And then everyone that talk like that now looks like an asshole. And I was like, I'm not doing it. And people are like, why don't you have fun, Grant? Why don't you just play along? Why don't you just dance, monkey, dance? And I was like, I'm not dancing. And now that like all this stupid shit is like popular on Twitter and everyone has a way that they talk on Twitter, I'm just like, I can't like do that. Like it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel natural. And everyone's like, oh, look at my account. I have 100 million followers on Twitter because I say I heart anime. And also my name is Elon Musk. And I'm like, I can't talk like you. I won't talk like you. And 10 years from now, you're going to be a jackass and I'm going to be over here smoking a cigarette in the back of the classroom being like, I'm lucky I'm not that guy.
I have a response to that, Grant. I just a simple question.
Yeah.
What time does the narwhal bacon, the bacon narwhal, I fucked that up.
It's 69 o'clock.
Okay. Well, you're not really a Redditor then, because everyone knows that the bacon narwhal's at midnight. Reddit fandom, rise up. Time to rise up. I'm activating you. I'm activating code 37174.
It's the little blinker thing on that stupid Reddit guy starts like they all turn into like Manchurian candidates.
They're going to our guns to.
Anyway, Ian, what is your 2 minutes of hate? What's
my
bugging you?
2 minutes of hate is mass shooters. I think that we're done with them. We don't need them anymore.
Yeah.
No, no.
This is one of the
all
most
right.
okay, great.
No, I guess kind of like if just to quick go back to what we were saying. I know we're trying to move forward. I want to go back.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Well, I understand what you're saying because I kind of feel the same way where it's just like because I feel like Twitter used to be there was a little more variety or like maybe the echo chambers kind of were maybe a little more segmented where like if you were existing in certain spheres like that seemed way more fresh or different than like seeing other stuff, but because you're like depending on how you are interacting with the timeline you are still getting like the normie shit. It's like it has become mass like homogenized. And then like the my brother in Christ memes, like
I got sick of that immediately.
Those came. I mean, they're already like done, I would say. But like even when that happened, I was like it was like kind of amusing for like 5 seconds. But then it's just like when you realize that this is going to be the big thing for a little bit, it's just like,
dude, you know,
I don't need to see every iteration of this with like. But then that also realizing that pattern, it becomes kind of fun with that because then you can interact with it in an ironic way. Not that everything has to be ironic. You can sincerely interact with stuff in your life and it's actually good for you. But it is still fun to be playful and just like these weird internet fads that because you also know that with the pattern comes like it has staying power for a week, 3 weeks, a month, a couple months, but then it's like completely forgotten about, and then like it will have this sort of like revitalization down the line or whatever. Right. But I feel like when you I feel like that the revitalization comes very far after the fact, but there is still a time when has been a while to re-examine that, and then you can still like kind of play with it and have fun.
What you said about my brother in Christ, I have like a separate like tangent to go off of on that specifically because I know like you'd see memes, you'd see images, and you're just like, okay, I get that this is now the thing that people are starting to say, but when it really like crushed my soul is I'm on TikTok a lot, and when you start seeing videos of people like responding to someone going, oh, like literal face palm, like, oh, my brother in Christ, and it's like, don't say it out loud, man. It makes my skin crawl. I don't need it. Don't say it out loud. It doesn't sound good. I know that you're trying to be an epic meme win guy or whatever the fuck, but I hate it.
That's the thing, man. It's like all this stuff is just like new age epic meme and like.
But that's just
and people think they're better than that,
But it's also like it's also different because I feel like 5-10 years ago, it was like that was also still kind of self-contained from the internet. But then as the internet becomes the main thing, then like, you're not just homogenizing your interaction with the internet, but you're also homogenizing your interaction with everything in daily life because like so much of maybe how you interact with the world is specifically through these platforms or through the internet. So it's like, it's not just like a homogenization of these online spaces, but a homogenization of how you see the world.
Yeah.
I saw a Twitter account that I sort of like that's revolving around what we're talking about that actually, this might get my key to the city, but this is Ironic Meme Culture FTW, and it's Irony Guy 6669, and he says, based capital is a counterpoint to woke capital. Woke capital skulls while based capital keks. It deterritorializes wokeness by triggering woke skulled snowflakes with kecking Pepe memes and upholds the dank trad lifestyle by promoting local small businesses. Problem Bezos.
That's like a Jesse. What the hell are you talking about?
Everything just crammed into everything that I hate. It like
that's bleak. This is bad. This we gotta stop doing the show. We gotta detach. Go off the grid.
My 2 minutes of hate is the rise of fascism. I don't care for it. I think that we as a country are better than that, and I think we should be returning to our democratic, liberal values.
My 2 minutes of hate is Rise of Skywalker.
Ooh,
movie sucked.
That was I
didn't see it.
It was terrible.
Don't bother.
George Lucas is rolling in his ranch.
The fuck, man. Well, was that? What's your punishment then? I guess.
No, let me. Have you done your 2 minutes of hate yet?
No.
You do yours.
Still
I'm still building up to mine.
What the hell was yours? I don't even know.
I think I just had 2 joke answers.
Yeah,
that's fine.
So you do yours, and then I'll have mine ready.
Shit, I'm not prepared now.
Okay.
I don't.
He's got to look at his phone.
Wait a whole week
Shit.
to do this.
Yeah.
I've been trying to fly a little more off the cuff, off the collar, off the, I got one. My 2 minutes of hate this week is humor online.
Yeah.
I just I don't know if it's that I'm getting older or if that I'm severely depressed or if it's some combination of both. And it is. That's exactly what it is. But I just are things still funny? Because I feel like I mean, this show is hilarious. I feel like I consume a lot of content that you look at it and you're like, this is supposed to be funny. And I'm just I don't think that it.
No, I had a similar thought today too. I think it has to do with it's what we're interacting with and how it's the whole absurdist, over the top, abstract thing. I think it's I don't know if that's hitting in the way it should anymore.
Well, I don't know. I think part of it is we are getting older. So we've also been around internet culture for a while. So we are just it's hard to say because I think that we are. I think a lot of people maybe in our age group demographic have been kind of burnt out by some of this stuff. But I was at the gym today and I saw they're the Planet Fitness where we work out has a program for high school kids or younger kids or something. And I saw some younger kids in there today. And one of them had a shirt that said it looked like it was just some absurdist Instagram post, but it's a Joe Rogan podcast and it was Sonic and Shadow making out. And that was just the shirt,
that's
and
funny.
It's that's funny.
That.
Is it though?
It's funny.
It's funny that a kid was wearing it.
Right. Wait. I think it was. I think the context of which, definitely a few years ago, that would have been one of the funniest things we've ever seen.
Exactly.
And
right.
But it's that. I guess is still maybe what is hitting with Gen Z or just the absurdist, ironic stuff is definitely. Maybe not to say that this kid is Mr. Maybe this guy's the biggest loser of all time.
We gotta get this guy on the show.
Yeah,
that's why it's funny to me is because I remember being in high school and having kids that wore ironic shirts, and it's not that I thought that the shirts were funny back then, but now as a 30-year-old adult, I'm that kid's a fucking loser. That's funny.
Right.
It's
but
hilarious.
It's also it's we definitely have been swimming in that stream for long enough to where we noticed that how wet we are or we're how long we've been swimming.
That's a good way to put it.
And it's hard to really break down because I can't say that sample size of one is representative of an entire generation but I do feel that stuff does still kind of skew, but it's also hard to say because I feel when we were growing up I can't speak to our collective experience, but I would say it's safe to say that growing up and going from high school and emerging into the adult world, it seemed there was maybe some sense of security or that things were decent or fine or that we were going into a more or less kind of solved world where things were things maybe weren't fair always, but if you worked hard or whatever, you could get a decent job or survive or whatever. And I feel the kids now they're smart enough or just online enough and exposed to all this stuff where they've figured out sooner how much of a fucking joke a lot of this shit is. So it's
it's all very detached, ironic because it's that's how you can kind of cope in a way.
Yeah, because
that kid with the shirt with Sonic and
he
Shadow
must have been going through some real shit.
Yeah, that's some trauma right there.
Yeah, so it's it's just hard also to it's hard to know what it is in with them, or like I guess like the ironic absurdist thing probably still hits just because it's like, and that is so much bigger of their world.
I think that's like a certain understanding of a certain type of humor, and I definitely think that that's prevalent in like certain senses, but it is one of those things too where it's like, I don't know if it's like the commodification of things and just like how you click through videos faster. And like, again, like being on TikTok a lot, it's like you get the certain formula of like this hits. And it's just like, yeah, but after some time, like this isn't funny anymore. Just to like have like a structure and then to like constantly fill in the blanks of that structure because you only have 15 seconds. And so like, you got to do this and you got to do this and you got to do this. And like, there's a lot of really funny, creative people that I've found through like Twitter and TikTok and like all these different platforms. And there's a lot of people doing a lot of good work. But I feel like I see so much stuff that's like supposed to be humor. And not only that, but that everyone feels the need to be funny at all times. And it just gets to the point where I feel like nothing's funny. And then I go onto some of these apps and like websites and stuff like that. And I go, how can I be funny? And I go, I don't know if I like want to be.
Okay, well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. There are still things that are funny. There are still things that personally make me laugh. And I do feel the same as you, where I do go on Twitter and these apps and I see all these pictures where it's just like, yeah, it's just it's a detached thing. And I get it because it's like Ian was saying, where, you know, people are coping, everything's crazy, haha, you know, whatever, fuck it. And in a way, I think that, you know, comedy was skewing more and more that direction over time anyway, you know, like looking at, I don't want to go too deep down the rabbit hole, but it's like, you know, like in the 2000s, I mean, you know, Tim and Eric was kind of, you know, coming up in all this kind of sort of absurdist sort of humor. And I feel like there are still things that make me laugh. It's just, you know, you always got to be changing and growing and like paying attention. And a lot of this stuff, it's just lazy. That's what it is.
Well, yeah. Another thing with that is that like, it's twofold. It's that, like, because of the way social media works and it's been gamified, like it does turn everyone, because like you see one person, like the post, the Twitter main character, or like a post or just like something, you'll like quickly see one person retweet it. And then I feel like if you're on Twitter again in like 5 minutes and you have a bad problem of checking it all the time like me, you see then like 3 to 5 people in the next like 20 minutes do their little dunk or quote tweet. And it's like, you know, like it's good for, that's, I guess that's also like it may not be like funny or interesting, but like that is how you build like, you know, a Twitter base if that's what you want to do. Right. But also like another thing about it with people, everything lazy is that like, you know, the majority of people are very dumb. We're very smart, but a lot of people are very dumb. But then also like that means that people are going to regurgitate or like they're just going to like crop, you know, memes and post them as their own. Right. Or they're going to, you know, they're going to see something and they're going to do their take. And it's literally just like the most lame, like swapping A for B of the formula. Mm-hmm. But then you see those people have success because they either have a base or like that just resonates with a lot of people because a lot of people maybe they aren't burnt out or maybe they still like the new thing that's like the new, like the new joke or whatever.
Or a lot of times the way that people share content is not like, you know, like sitting poring over it like we do, like it's a, you know, 9-to-5 job, like, oh, I got to log on to Twitter and do 12 posts today. But like what a lot of people do is they'll go online and they'll go, and you'll go, oh yeah, the phone, send that to me. And that's it. That's like what, and like I feel that wrong, but because it's not wrong, but that's like how I feel about humor online is that it's good for like, hey, check this out, and then someone goes, oh yeah, I saw that.
That's pretty good.
And then it's like you're working your ass off to try and like resonate with people. And like,
I mean, you can't believe, I don't want to take the victim route here. It's just like, all I want to say is like, there is just, again, it's like you said, I know we keep coming back to this t-shirt, but that t-shirt would have hit so hard a few years ago, right?
Yeah.
And you said, maybe we're getting old. Were we not adults 3 years ago? and now we are. That makes no sense. Like, it's not that we're just
I don't know. I hit that
think,
30. I crossed over the finish line.
I do think
like,
it's different levels of old.
It was like
we were still adults and whatever, but like I do feel like, especially the last 2 years of like the pandemic, like I feel that
a little bit too. But I don't know if it's
it was
like
like flipping into it was like flipping into the upside down, where it's like, oh look, reality, it's fun and bright, and then you're upside down.
But how get this? All of us,
it's dark and it's scary, and there's weird little feathery things floating in the air, and it's spooky.
All of us turned 30 during the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
So that is also a factor.
Ian's actually 21.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just look terrible. No, but I do think that it's a slow. There's these slow trading of whether how you interact with culture, or these like. It's not like a flip of the. I mean, for all intents and purposes, like if you are looking, I do feel like 30 is kind of the flip of the switch. But like, I moved here to Chicago when I was 26, and 26 is like, it's the beginning of the last half of your 20s.
Yeah,
but I was
you're
still
off
like
your parents' insurance.
Yeah, I'm off my parents' insurance, and it's like. But I still like fucked around and was kind of like a shithead in my 20s. And even in my late 20s, it's like I'm an old young person. Yeah. And then more or less now that I'm in my 30s, and I still I don't feel like, I guess I feel a little bit old, but like I'm not like the transition is gradual, but I am now noticing stuff where it's like, especially with the rise and the prevalence of like what a more defined version of like what Gen Z is, like as they're becoming like, because for a long time millennials were, like they were the focus of news or culture as like the young generation or whatever, and now as Gen Z
don't want to work,
that,
want a participation trophy.
Jill, did we ever talk about millennial monopoly on this show?
I don't know.
And how every like
Boardwalk is a piece of avocado toast.
Yeah, it's literally just that. And like Mr. Monopoly has like a participation. It's just like the worst thing you've ever seen.
Instead of a mustache, he just has a mustache tattoo on his finger. He goes like this.
Hell yeah.
He has the really big droopy earlobes from Gages a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I think that now, like, especially when we are defining what a millennial is in comparison to the new generation with those differences, like it does make you like kind of realize that, we just are older. Like it is different.
Sure.
Like even a few years ago we were adults, but we were the old young people, and now we're the young old people. Like,
that's actually a pretty apt way to put it. But you know what? I choose to be optimistic though, because I don't think it's just, oh, we're old now. I think that there is just, things are just not, I don't know. Things are just, I don't know, changing, and like they get stacked. But like, I think it's more of like, we just have to find what is the good thing. It's not like, oh, we're old, fuck it. I think that.
And of course there's always like popular culture of like, you look at like, oh, the musician, whatever, like who are the big musicians of the 70s or whatever. Like you look at like Led Zeppelin, and it's like Led Zeppelin was like losing in record sales to like the Monkees, but like nobody fucking talks about like the Monkees, but like popular shit existed back however long ago. And then it's like,
no one talks about the Monkees. Then who's this Harambe guy I keep hearing about?
I don't know, but I voted him for president in 2016.
I put my bleeping beep out for him.
Sleep Science in the chat says, we're old, but we're also depressed. I've been depressed the whole time, buddy. That's the truth.
Yeah, you fucking...
Y'all sleeping on depression.
Yeah. You merely adopted depression.
Ooh, that's what other meme can... My brother in Christ, you are depressed.
I was born into it. I was molded by depression.
Not actually sure if that's picking up on the mic, but Grant's doing sort of a Bane mask over his like hand mask.
One little guy gets depressed and everyone starts losing their minds.
I mean, to be fair, with how bad Christopher Nolan is with sound mixing, I think my impression was pretty on.
The movie Tenet, if you've seen that one. But I could go on and on about this, and I don't know if this is even interesting or funny.
Just
to listen
nothing's
to at all.
funny anymore. That's my point.
That's what I'm being. There are funny things out there. I swear to God, there are.
No.
But like, most of it's bad, and that's how it's always been. Most things are bad, but there's always some good stuff, and that's just how it's going to be forever. That's how it's always been.
Name 3 good things.
that are funny?
You can't.
Good.
No, just
things.
3 good things. I don't even care.
Well, I got to think.
They don't even need to be funny. Just 3 good
My
things.
family, my bod, my pad, my church, my boys, my girls.
It's 6 right there.
All right. Well, let's go back to the funny thing. 3 funny things.
I'll text you later when I have time to think about it.
Well, I definitely think there are funny things going on. And a lot of it is I mean, I can't say that definitively, like, and it's kind of annoying because I definitely, in terms of my comedic sensibilities, I feel like doing, well, like with everyone becoming a comedian now with like social media or whatever, that it doesn't help because like everyone's just running, as soon as a joke takes off as a success, everyone's just running it into the ground for points or whatever. And like, that's just how we interact with like news or a headline. Like anytime that there's like a breaking news story, like any fucking, anyone on, Joe Blow, Joe Blow on Twitter will, go rush to make his little joke tweet. But it's like, I feel like doing comedy for, X amount of years, however long it's been now, like it really has burnt me out of like a lot of you just, and maybe it's also like just the drug burnout too, but just like seeing the patterns of like the structure, and you can appreciate like how people, interact with those patterns. And sometimes it's like really good, but like, you see a stand-up comedian at an open mic or like at any, random club, not to say that they're good comedians and they're good at their craft, but like a lot of people aren't looking to consume comedy in the same way I am, where I like the subversive shit or like the ironic or the very like, they also clearly see this pattern and they're doing something new or fresh or inventive.
And that's what I'm saying. Exactly. It can be done.
Right.
Like I think I've mentioned him on the show before. Actually, probably the last time we were on the last time you were on the show, I think Matthew Golden is a good example. I think that and I don't want to like go too specific on one example, but I think that him and other people like him and others out there are, people are doing new stuff, and it's not just like,
a straight white male comedian. That's very. No, speak on that, please.
I don't know anything about him. He might not be.
No, that's fair. I don't know him either.
But like, you know what? Maybe that's what it is. It's like, I don't want to know about people. The less I know, the better, perhaps. I just want to see somebody put on a silly pirate costume and walk around. I don't want to know what the hell's happening in court and whatever's happening in their love life.
Yeah, did you hear that they milkshake ducked the pirate guy?
You got to be kidding me.
I don't know. I feel the exact opposite, that I want less Johnny Depps in the world. And like, I feel like a lot of the stuff that I've been connecting to more is just like sincere, heartfelt content where people are talking to you like you're a human being. And then they sort of throw a joke in. And then I'm like,
or you know what?
Oh, that's like refreshing to hear someone like actually legitimately use humor in what I feel like is the correct way, instead of just screaming at their camera.
Well, this is sort of like taking that like to an extreme, but like someone like Joe Pera also is like, he's that, like, I thought with the rise of his show, and he's still rising and gaining prominence, and he's very funny.
Right.
But like, I guess when I had heard of him and started like tuning into his stuff, like I thought that there would maybe be more of a rise of like this very sincere and like nice like way to engage with the world, because that is very like, he's still very funny, and he has like ways that he can like still tell jokes or maybe play with the format or whatever. But like, you watch some of the stuff on his show, and like it's not necessarily like the mainstream type of humor, or like just like with like the Old Spice ads, like blowing up this like internet absurdism and running like, well, the big thing is like marketing, so like taking on whatever like the hot thing is and making that mainstream, and then everyone's engaging with that, or like copying that, or like the way that marketing also like adopts culture, and like
that's something we talk about like a lot in the show too. And it's just you just have to push forward. You don't know what's there. It's scary. It's lonely, but you got to push forward. And I also think the key is also to not really participate too much, because the people who just are spending so much time participating in the cycle on Twitter are just going to be stuck there forever.
Oh my God.
Maybe they're going to have a higher number in some like follower counts and whatever. I don't care. It's just like, I think that we also need to move forward with like, I don't know, like we were talking before Grant and I were talking before the recording. It's like, we just need to be like focusing also on like, I don't know, like making something of like substance, like some kind of
That's what I feel like is like
That's the
like things have to be more substantial. I think what I'm missing is
this whole
some
thing had its
form of
moment,
substance. It's a jackal in the chat says anime pro tag shit. Referring to you.
Well,
I think that's what I feel like since the pandemic and just the last few years, like I do feel like a big, not that like specifically that, but I feel I've been very drawn to like watching anime and stuff because it is very refreshing to watch a show or interact with like a story where the main character is just like optimistic and hopeful and like just idea.
That's why people listen to this show, because of me.
Yeah.
I'm always talking about the power of friendship.
And you have that big straw hat.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like refreshing to just see someone who hasn't been totally just like fucking, just like have an annihilated perspective of just like being a total cynical asshole, which is like so easy to fall into that trap these days. And we all have periods probably where we're coming from like a dark place like that.
But past,
it's like
2 years.
Yeah. But it's like, you're not wrong necessarily, but it's like, you know, this is the hand that we've been dealt. And like, you know, you also don't have to play, you know, like you don't have to, like, it's tough because there are like, you know, like the way that social media rewires our brains to like crave those dopamine hits. Like I do find myself like, if I have like I use like really bad when I was like, going through my coding boot camp and I was just like super caffeinated and I would like take Adderall sometimes. I would just like instinctively, like as soon as I had like a drop in my attention or just like whatever I was doing and I just didn't, I would like Control T and then I'd start to do TW in the search and then Twitter would auto populate and then I'd just like hit enter and it would just be like my brain had hardwired my like left hand to do these like quick little key presses so that I could like check this thing and scroll and see if I have any likes and whatever. And it's like,
oh my God,
I do feel like I'm not as online anymore and I still am victim to checking it. And and now when I do it also, I felt like before there was still kind of a rush of like trying to have some fun on it or whatever. But now it really does feel like it's just like you are like being subjected to some like otherworldly like horror that is just like you're scrolling through the timeline and the timeline is looking back and it's just like sucking your life out of you.
Yes, exactly. But this is actually this whole conversation I could go on and on about, but it's a great segue into the first story I want to talk about.
I didn't do my 2 minutes of hate.
Go for it.
By all means.
But if you have a story.
No, we were going to talk about, what were we going to talk about?
I think my 2 minutes of hate is just bullshit. I think all that stuff sucks. Yeah.
But yeah,
how derivative.
If you haven't listened to Thought Cops before, every week we investigate the internet's outrage-inducing news stories, and then we sentence each perpetrator to a cruel and often unusual punishment. As I rush to get through saying that, let's talk about the first story here.
Remember when I did that and I fell on my face?
I mean, it's tough to read. I get it. But we have this, so, you know, we're talking about pushing forward, doing new things, people doing things on TikTok, on Twitter, the world of comedy at large and being original and innovative. Let's watch this video from one of the freest thinkers that I think anyone has ever seen in recent times.
I'll hit play here.
I want to be the next SNL cast member, and here's why I should be a contender. Hi, Lord Michaels, I'm Jake Novak, and I know that you're feeling the heat because your roster lost Kate, Kyle, 80, and Pete. That means you got an open seat, and I feel I ought to be feeling it, because when it comes to comedy songs, I kind of been killing it. See, weekly music videos are my jam, bruh. I'm a rapid rhyming hammy nerd like Lin-Manuel Miranda mixed with Sammy Berg, but haven't you heard? I'm more than a rapper, I'm an actor too, so here's a couple of nice guys getting their jackets. After you, after you, after you.
I don't get, is this a sketch?
After you. After you've seen that scene, I mean, I'm in, right? But I've been sitting on the ringer. In addition to this,
like it turned into a song like 10 seconds in.
Bouncing out on Broadway, but I'm running for 30 Rock, so I can hand deliver you the next dick in a box. Not literally, obviously. I really want to give you the next big thing. Oh, God. Dear Mr. Michaels, won't you give me a chance? My melodies will make the people laugh on the dance. All right, I'll perform, man. I'll sweep the stage.
Well, apparently you're titillated by this.
Not for the right reason.
Did I dive or get you to bite? Maybe we could try
incredibly well produced. Like the music component, he is talented at like carrying the flow. It's just the content is so like, it's literally just like, you can see the hours he spent on like the bus or just like at the library, just like listening to the Hamilton songs on repeat,
Right.
like, and or like like you could see him like going like to like a open mic and like singing Hamilton or something. Like he's very refined and polished, and but it's just like the content is so like,
Well,
here's the thing.
here's my big question: is this sincere, or is this supposed to be like cringe material?
No,
Because I'll be honest,
I
like
think it's sincere.
I think it's sincere too.
this is doing numbers, and for all that I have been saying about like I don't think that humor is funny anymore, and like everything looks like this, and it's a shitty TikTok video, and you look at it and you go, and then you flip through, like, oh, this guy is getting more views than I am on every.
I think this guy's getting views because a lot of people are like quote tweet dunking on him or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
but if you go to his Twitter page and scroll through his feed, you can get a sense that like if that was a bit or like that would be so high concept to have the production value and like write the song and stuff. Like there's no winking at the camera.
I don't know that because there's
there's.
I get what you're saying, but there's also that like tickle in my brain that's sort of like, but he made this, he did it. People are laughing at him, which means that they're laughing. And this guy has a better shot of getting on SNL than I fucking ever will.
Listen. Here's the thing about this. Okay. So this guy,
Break it down, Kevin.
he looks like he was manufactured in a laboratory with the DNA of cast members from SNL over the last like 20 years.
Yes.
He looks like 13 different SNL, like 13 different guys or like whatever who have been on SNL. And
he looks like the quintessential SNL guy.
He looks like it. He sounds like it. Give him the job. Like he's clearly made for it. Like at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, like he wants to work on SNL. He would probably be very good at it. I don't know. And I'm not even saying that there's shit on SNL. And again, I'm going to be optimistic here. I think that there's a chance SNL could also be good again. You know, we've seen a lot of people who have been not so great leaving the show recently.
Miska.
What was that?
Miska.
So,
make SNL good again.
oh, my guys, yeah. I'll get those hats.
Very high concept.
Later on. But there's, we got some new blood coming in, like James Austin Johnson, Sarah Squirm, other people I'm sure who will be added to the cast in the next couple years. And then also,
I heard they just announced the new they got the Yodel kid.
No.
They got a Garfield
musical guest.
My brother in Christ.
So I want to say, like, and I love sketch comedy. I think that maybe there's a place where SNL can be good again. Not if this guy gets on, though. I will say that for what SNL has been for a while in recent years, I think he was a great fit.
Honestly, I have to give this guy some level of props because I feel like to the extent that we're talking about irony and shit like that, like. This was sincere. This guy really wants to get on SNL real bad. Yeah. And if it was like a little like wink at the camera, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I get it. Oh, you're such a cringe lord. Oh, I'm cringing here.
This is like think about the people. Like he is so clearly speaking to a specific group of people, which is like millennials who like made it or like have or well-to-do or like they went through college and they got a good job and they still like Harry Potter and they like Hamilton and they like engage with the Marvel movies regularly on some level. It's like that is still like they're it's not like
I don't know what I'm supposed to like and dislike
but here's
anymore.
The thing is like
I hate this guy or do I not hate this guy?
I'm not saying
I don't know what to fucking think about
I would say in terms of your personal brand of taste, you probably dislike this guy. But that's but that's not to say
I don't want to defend him.
You can't. I'm not defending him, but I'm saying I get it or like I understand. Like he is the product of a system where it's like the market tested research of like. These are it's like why Democrats keep fucking pandering to like possibly never Trump or like the Republicans will switch or whatever, where it's like it is such a small subgroup, but they're still doing it for some reason. And it's because they have like money. They have money or like they are worth engaging with at some point because you can sell them something. And maybe that's not what this guy's thinking of at some point, but like any sort of success that he has can be explained by the fact that he is marketable to a certain amount of fucking dopes who like have no taste or just like the thing. He is the new do cave painting in Plato's cave, where they painted this thing, and the people like being in the cave. And not to say that we're smart or like we've escaped the cave or
No.
It's like we see like we see the pattern, but some people like the pattern, and it's okay to like the pattern. But it's like
great.
we love the pattern. But it's like this is. He found the pattern, whether or not he's aware of it, but he just fucking is great. His craft for the pattern is so great.
Okay,
but it's also like the pattern ages, and like he might be on the tail end of all this crap, or maybe not. I don't know.
And that might be the place to be. That might be the place to be. But you know what's another interesting observation about this whole thing is because we've said that the media landscape is shifting and changing constantly.
Right.
Everything's you can do whatever you want on TikTok, on YouTube. You can be whatever you want. It's very funny in an ironic way that we've now got this platform, TikTok. It's for young people to do whatever the hell they want. And then the end goal is still to get a job on SNL.
Dude, I still...
that was like, we're still like going back to that. Like we thought we were like moved on and like...
Well, this actually reminds me of, it's so crazy also with how like you can blow up on the internet. My friend sends me, I don't know if you see on like Instagram videos, he sends me these like, There's like this subculture, and they seem to get a lot of likes and numbers. And there's like people who watch this and consume this type of media. But he sends me specific. There's like a bunch of different like people that he sends me, but they're like wannabe actors, and they do like imagine how like actors might do reads for commercials or whatever.
Right.
But and also with the advent of social media, like you're asked if you want to make it in like TV or be an actor,
right.
You have to fold on, like you also have to have a podcast, or you also have to do comedy, or you also have to do music or something. You have to fold in all these different like creative outlets, and like he sends me these videos from these people who like seem like they just want to be like famous, or like they would maybe want to be acting, but they're like little acting vignettes where it's like a girl and she's acting all the parts, but like there's a weird a subgenre of this subgenre is like they're like acting out little tiny scenes, and like there's a subgenre of like all the people in the scene are in a band, and like the main girl that she's portraying is like the drummer, and they're singing the lyrics to like a popular song or whatever, but they're like saying the lyrics as like describing what's going on in the scene, and they're acting it, and it's always like the drummer is like jealous that the guitarist is like kind of like being cutesy for like the new like singer or the new guitarist or something, and the guitarist is her ex, and then the manager is like, hey drummer, why are you being so loud? And she's just like ignoring him, and she's like playing madly or whatever. But it's like she has been doing so many of these different videos, or it's like a thing where there's a floating like image, like a name, and it's like the prompt is like the name that shows up is the name of your crush, or like the name of your soulmate. And then they're like they're like going to school and they're interacting with people and be like, did you find it's so insane, but it's like, did you see your soulmate today? And it's like, no, I didn't see Jason. And then it's like Jason, and it's like hey everyone, welcome to new kid in school, Jason. Right. And then like the name pops up or whatever. And it's like, there are these but it's like I've never seen her in any commercial. Not that I'm like watching a ton of commercials or TVs like shows or whatever, but it's like I think the main thing that people want to pivot to is this idea of being like a movie star, TV star. Maybe they do want to be an internet star, but like to make these like acting scenes on Instagram is like a new thing that they have to do in order to grind or raise your profile, or like maybe help your consideration for a role or whatever. Right. But then it's like, what happens if you want to be a TV show actor, or like be on a Netflix show or something, but then like you're in doing this thing to like boost your profile, like by making these little like acting videos that you can like send out as like testers or whatever, then that starts to take off. And then it's kind of like you're trapped in like, I mean, maybe eventually you could pivot, but then it's like your main thing is like you have a fan base of these people who like your like acting videos, right? And you're doing these, you're now kind of like trapped in this micro hell of like acting. Maybe you like it, but it's also like if that wasn't your original intent, and then you have this like surprising like following or success, then it's like now you are doing this like acting like weird scene thing that I'm sorry, can that cat stop?
She can't.
No. Okay, that's fair. But then you're kind of like, and
well, it's like we were talking about this before the show too, where it's like it's so easy to be like known for a thing and then just be kind of pigeonholed and like almost feel like stuck in that thing. You want to branch out, and it's like, don't get me wrong, I love doing the show, but there's times where it's like, you want to do other things that are not just like talking about, the internet, because in a lot of ways the internet sucks.
Yeah.
And we're just here trying to have fun. It's like, I like to see the show is like, it's more like the internet is like a secondary, like the content of what we're talking about is secondary to the humor, the conversations, and the dynamic that we have on the show, which that's why I'm here. That's what I love. But, there's times where it's like, you want to be doing other things, I've really been enjoying writing articles for Hard Drive and other websites and stuff. I know, like, Grant, you've been doing TikToks and stuff like that. And
I haven't been doing TikToks.
Well,
I've
general,
been neglecting TikTok.
But you have done.
You have a big fitness thing, too.
I haven't put enough time and effort and energy into that, and my career is sort of trailing off a little bit.
Anyway,
you're done, so let's move on from that.
We got to punish this guy who for the. I say, you know what? Give him the fucking job. Just give him the job.
Honestly.
I think his punishment should be that he has to make these videos where he's wildly successful, but like he will never truly get SNL. Like he is always like posting, or it's like he is always taking a half step closer to his goal, but he'll never get what he wants because like he's going to be known as being this guy, and then he's going to have like a Randy Rainbow. But also it's like it's like you're going to be like I guess I also just don't know also like what your goal is because it's also like. Being an internet celebrity, it's like you could just pivot to Twitch or YouTube or just like have a merch site and make money from that or whatever. And like people, that's
all I'm trying to do. I just want to I want to do Twitch, which we gotta fucking do, man. Like one time a week. Why can't I do one time a week? I'll figure it out. Merch.
Yeah, it's all about the merch, baby. Go on the Teespring store. You can get a sticker, the green squirt gun. I think.
Yeah,
I think that's
cool.
in there.
Let's
talk about one more story here. Elon Musk. Yeah, why not?
Hey, I thought about this one. Hey, how about this?
Yeah.
Yalvan and the Chip Musks.
I don't
presents Muskwrecked.
I don't understand.
That's a little bit of a play on Alvin and the Chipmunks 2. Or is it 3?
I think it might be 3. I think 3 is when they decide we got to get these guys on a boat.
Isn't 2 the Squeakquel?
Yeah, 2 is the Squeakquel.
Right. I forget. I always forget.
The 3rd is the Chipwrecked anniversary.
Oh, so a bunch of people that I guess work at Tesla said Elon's tweets are bad, and then he fired him.
Was it that his tweets were bad, or that he just had like an insane Twitter? Like he's addicted to Twitter.
They said that he's cringe.
Did they really say that in the letter?
No.
Oh.
I mean, they might as well have. Though.
In my mind, that's all that I care to.
We don't know the exact contents of the letter. I'm gonna choose to believe they did say he was a high key cringe.
Yeah,
and that's fair. I agree.
They said he was a.
We all saw him on the show last week.
Do you still get harassed by his followers?
Knock on whatever this is. No,
it's like It's not granite, but it's like marble. No, it's not marble.
There might be some marble in there.
It's like I don't know, some sort of stone-like composite material.
Knock on stone-like composite material.
I don't know.
No, they're not harassing.
I don't know what
anymore.
composite material is. These are just like words that I heard my dad say growing up, and I'm like, this is probably
composite composition. So I would assume that.
Yeah, look, there's compositions happening all over the place. It's smoothed down. It's nice.
I would assume that unless you really strike a chord or are hitting consistently against, I would assume Elon Musk fanboy dick riders have the same attention span as everyone else, which is just very small. And so,
very small dicks.
Very small dicks. Yeah. But I think I would think that, like, unless he interacts, like they'll probably still go after hard drive. But like, unless you tweet at him and he interacts again or something, like I would imagine that they are collectively pooling their, like hate posting at like a greater institution or something, a greater institution than Kevin Podmass.
Someone called you Kevin Podunk, and I liked the tweet. It was hilarious.
Oh, really? I must have missed that. That's you should have reported it for targeted harassment.
That was the one where, like, because it's like, yeah, all these people are morons, but it was like, oh, Kevin Podunk.
Let's just
has
say,
someone called you that before? Has anyone done that?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Like, I didn't know, like, because you know how, like, some people have, like, oh, you rhyme your name with something, and it's like, don't you fucking call me Grant Looney. I'll kill, when people have, like, the weird angles.
Noted.
No, I'm not saying that that's one of them. I'm saying,
Yeah, it's a trigger. I get it. No,
I'm saying that it's not, but I'm saying that could be an example.
Yalvan
theoretically.
Monks route.
So I mean, there was a video of Elon and his like cronies like laughing about the hard drive thing, where he's like, "I want to steal more memes."
Oh yeah, that was really cringe. Because I also couldn't read if there was someone who was saying that the cronies like didn't want to be there with him or whatever, but it's like they so clearly do. Like like everyone who's like in a video of being in a room with Elon Musk has some like level of dick riditude that like Elon Musk being the richest guy, it's like you are like the North Pole and like you're creating magnetism for like
that's true.
And also it's like you're never just like the way that like power dynamics and like human interaction works. It's like if I had met Elon Musk in person, like I don't think I'd have the courage to be like I wouldn't be like, hey man, like this is awesome to meet you, like you're my favorite science guy. Like I wouldn't be like that, but I wouldn't like necessarily have the courage to like tell him off because it's like whatever. Like what am I like? I wouldn't think of anything clever enough to like be in a situation like that. And also it's like I'm a big coward.
First and foremost, yeah, it's he's got so much money. How could you not be scared?
I do love videos of people like yelling at like representatives until they just like walk out of the Starbucks that they're at.
That's cool. I would maybe have a little more confidence in doing that. But also again, like I'm a big coward and I also just feel like I wouldn't know if that's like the guy, or I would feel so bad if I went up to a guy who like looked like Ted Cruz and I was like cussing him out and he's just like some like fucking fat ugly guy.
You're accidentally screaming at Elon Ma.
God forbid I would ever curse my family by doing that.
I'd feel so bad if I accidentally cursed out Elon Ma and not Elon Musk.
Speaking of which, these people who got fired for saying that Elon Musk's tweets were bad, they get to work at the whatever the Chinese equivalent of Tesla is, like Tesla, or like just something that's like vaguely similar but like much cheaper.
Tesla?
Yeah. You just got hired at Tesla.
Big money Teslas.
In China. And it is run by Elon Ma.
I hope so. They should give that guy a factory. I don't know who, but someone should.
Let's move on to
Chinese Tesla is just Tesla, is it not?
I don't know. Let's move on to our Key to the City segment. Something nice, something positive, something swell, because we all know we've done a whole lot of belly aching on this episode. So let's just get to it.
It's good. This is a good episode.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I've been,
you don't know if it's a good episode. You have no faith in the process.
I think it's been an interesting conversation, but I can see some people listening to this and thinking that we're like insufferable, like douchebags on our high horses.
There was one person that posted on the Cyber Shell episode that was like, you bring Cyber Shell on and all you do is talk about your white guilt.
Yeah, like just what I want to see from a Cyber Shell video: white guilt and celebrity gossip.
Like, what are you doing, dude? You're commenting on this.
Yeah,
like,
you listen to it.
We talked about Sonic for like 20 minutes on the episode.
Yeah.
I think we fucking
and then
covered
the
it.
regular listeners are probably like, I don't fucking want to listen to Sonic. I don't care.
Gotta switch it up, you know?
My 2 minutes of hate is gonna go to Fallout 4 and Todd
freaking Howard.
Yeah, and they're re-releasing the same game again.
Yup.
They love that engine. Hey, that thing got a Hemi.
Put a pair of truck nuts on that engine.
Oh, you don't put truck nuts on the engine.
Hot take: truck nuts were the original NFTs.
Whoa!
What do you guys
Honestly,
think?
I think truck nuts are cooler than
NFTs. Nice fucking truck nuts.
I'll see a truck go by, like a huge fucking truck go by, and I'll just be like, "Where are the truck nuts?" Like, come on!
I see the truck.
You have
nuts.
the truck. Just put them on. You already had. Like, we know that it's your penis, and we know that you know that it's your penis, and just put them on there.
Right.
The truck's nuts is my penis.
My key to the city this week goes to my brand new truck nuts I just bought on Amazon. You're
gonna put it on your Civic.
Yeah. That would be really fucking funny.
Do you know John Stockwell?
Yeah,
he has like it's a Vine car, but it's like a little like 4-wheel like crossroad, like it's like a mid-size SUV, but it has like if you talk about like taking ironic absurdism to like an extreme, like it has like literally every like bad taste bumper sticker on the back, and it has like the lift mustache and like car eyelashes and truck nuts. It might have like multiple pairs of truck nuts. And it has like every bad taste, like insane accessory, and like talking about like, you know, beam me up, Scotty, and my keep honking, I'm reloading my gun. It's like all of that stuff, but it's truly to see it in person. It is so much where it's like it does transcend the level of just like
that's the logical conclusion to all those.
You either have to subvert and play with the format and from a new dimension, or you have to take what is already there and push it to an extreme past the comfort levels of whatever like is the norm or what we've seen before.
Because otherwise, fuck you. You know?
Yeah. You're just doing the same old shit.
Yeah.
That's the fuck out of here. If people could take nothing else from this episode away,
buy a pair of truck nuts.
Buy truck nuts. Buy stock
Use
in truck nuts right now.
Promo code ThoughtCops at checkout. Give us a little kickback. This episode is brought to you by Truck Nuts.
How much you want about Zwick bought a pair of truck nuts at some point?
Like, what was the competitor?
I bought you guys some.
Yeah, hey guys, I didn't know if you guys were kidding.
I bought the Mega 64 guys truck nuts and sent them to you.
Zwick, I didn't say the LLC account.
I didn't say
get Thought Cop truck nuts.
I didn't say that you guys that they're from you guys, but I sent them some from you guys, but not telling them that.
Which is funny because when they did open up on the PO box, like some of the stuff from our shop, not knowing that this obviously some of the stuff was from us, but some of it was like not
the Tim Allen,
the Death Stranding, Last Man Stranding. They're just like, oh, this is fun. This is a funny picture. Yes, indeed, I made it. Anyway, my key to the city this week goes to Stavros Halkias' new special on YouTube. It was very, very good. I seen Stav do stand-up comedy maybe like 4 or 5 years ago in Chicago once, and obviously I'm a fan of Cumtown.
Right.
But it just seeing like it was just such a well-oiled machine, and I haven't like sat down and watched a stand-up special in a long time. Like every new Netflix thing that comes through, I'm kind of like, maybe. Like I'm gonna check out the Norm Macdonald one because it's Norm and it's his last performance.
Well, he was one of the best to ever do it.
One of the best.
Gotta hand it to him.
How did I not fucking get to that conclusion? But Stavros Halkias' YouTube, it's on his YouTube channel, which Tom Myers funnily pointed out on YouTube or on Twitter. Is like you're bragging about posting a video to your own YouTube channel. Yes,
dude, he nails every time, just lock and load.
But it was very good. It's an hour-long special, and it's just very very dense. Just it just made me appreciate, like we said earlier.
Doesn't he does like a lot of crowd work in those?
Yeah, there's a decent
crowd work's good.
Like
crowd work's fun. Have you ever seen Todd Barry's like crowd work tour or any of that?
No.
It is. I do find like it can be kind of cheap depending on like how they get the laughs. But like I would say I would take a crowd work set or like someone like trying stuff out like that, because like I think that is way more impressive to like be confident on stage and be funny in the moment where you can spin like whatever, because a lot of times it's just about like listening and asking questions and then you're just kind of like repeating how big of a dumbass they sound.
Yeah.
But like I think that takes more like than just like whatever club comic is just like memorizing their like formulaic.
I almost feel like if there's a point where I go, I'm gonna like get back into stand up, I want to do that. And specifically like have you seen like Judah Friedlander?
I haven't seen his stuff, but
the one that's called like America's the best country in the United States or whatever the fuck is like one of my favorite specials. He like shot it on an iPhone. And it's just like a couple different specials that are sort of jammed together, and it's 100% crowd work. And it's like, because unlike saying like, oh, what do you do for? Oh, you don't know what you do for work. Oh, like that type of crowd work. It's like incredibly fucking funny and like well improvised and smart, and like it's like I don't know how the fuck he did this. This is brilliant.
Yeah, I think it just comes from time of like just like being comfortable on stage and just like knowing that. Like knowing how to work the crowd, because it's like if someone's not giving you stuff, like you know how to move on or whatever, and you do, but you don't like. It's like he's not saying something funny. He's not saying that he works. But you're here with your what? Your wipe? Did you say your wipe? Yeah, dude, leave those in the bathroom.
That's good.
Yeah.
But it's stuff like this where it makes me appreciate like just traditional, I don't know, just joke writing and comedy, because it's like it really does.
It's about the craft.
Well, in a way, it's like I know that it's like it may seem antiquated, and in some ways it is, but there's also this aspect of like, well, this is kind of stands above, you know, bringing it back to the guy that you saw in passing at Planet Fitness with the T-shirt. Like you're just like all that is like if you're not like if you're the person who made that T-shirt, you're funny. If you're the person who is like
consuming that
just
shirt,
consuming it and then putting it out, and it's
might eat a couple of vegetables.
Yeah, like for real though, it's just like, you know what, like move on. You got to keep moving. You got to keep going. You got to keep going. So anyway, at the risk of becoming too long-winded, Ian, what is your?
Did you do your key to the city?
No.
He goes last.
You go last.
Unless you want me to go next.
My key to the city goes to the rise of fascism. I think we are long overdue for some changes, and there's only my key to the city. What have I been liking? I gotta give it up to my friends. My friends. No, wait. Let me. No, I do like my friends. They are good. I like my friends. I think my key to the city is going to, you said Stavro. You said a very famous celebrity, so that's interesting. My key to the city is, I'm very sorry I didn't prepare one.
I can go.
No. If you always go last, I'm not gonna disrupt the pattern for Christ's sake.
It doesn't matter.
It's a delicate balance here on the show.
I think my key to the city is going to go to all the real ones out there. You know who you are. You have good taste, and there are people who I very much enjoy, and I feel lucky to be alive at the same time as them. Not necessarily like comedians or them too, but just like, yeah, I guess friends or people in my life where it's like who
also happen to all do comedy.
They happen to all do comedy, and I've surrounded myself with a very singular type. I'm very insulated. No, but just people that like. I guess my key to the city goes to the genuine connections that we have in our lives, that ground us and that keep us sane, because these days stuff is very all it takes is one bad day. I think I'm very grateful for having people like you guys and just people in my life that I can I don't all have to that I can have genuine connections with and talk about stuff past a surface level, and to just feel to have like a sense of community that I can interact with and have a nice time with.
That's what being a person is all about. Yeah,
it is.
Built a civilizations off the very idea, Ian.
Yeah.
Grant, I know you're chomping at the bit.
Yeah, my speaking of chomping, my key to the city this week goes to the snack I got at Trader Joe. Well, I finished them, so you can't try them.
I just watched you bring it up.
Yeah, I pulled it out of the garbage because
I have those?
I
No,
threw them out. There's some dust in here if you want to eat that, but crispy Thai chilies and sesame seeds. This is delicious. If you go to Trader Joe's, pick this up. They are pretty hot, but they're delicious. I love like dried chilies. They're
Let me see
great.
Is that's your
dude?
snack?
Look at those nutrition facts on the back. Like,
oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, right.
Whole package, only 500 calories.
Dude, they're really good.
I'm trying to think.
I'm sorry that I don't have more. Like I wish that I
Trader
had.
Joe's does have really good snacks.
They got some good snacks, and this is one of them.
They got
so
like really nice niche little snacks. I guess also a nice little key to the city too. I've been trying to get back on working out and eating right, and I do feel like that is helping in not that it cures everything, but I think it does help to just like have something that can take you off. Because, if you work remote or you're at work, like, it's so easy to be your screens all the time.
Right.
And so to have something like, going to the gym, and if you're on the elliptical, maybe you're still on your phone or something, or you're listening to something. Sure, you're not totally detached.
I've seen you there. I've seen you do it.
Yes. But it, if you're lifting weights or you have a routine, it can just having also things that can just take you out and just allow you to kind of recenter yourself or have some sense of focus. And then I feel like cooking is also something that lets you do that too, where you take 15, 20 minutes, throw together a little.
It's kind of funny how we're just figuring out the secret to happiness is just the most simple things that it is to being a human being, and we just
very zen.
We overcomplicated it for so long. No, you got to be ambitious and do this, and then it's actually,
dude, there is part of the whole get back to monkey Joe Rogan shit that I think that people do. They see that and they're like, man, this guy's right, and then he goes whatever. Vaccines, you'll grow truck nuts instead of regular nuts, and you go, no, I can't listen to Joe Rogan. But there's part of that where it's you want you should get into your body, you should feel what it's like to be a person and move around and stuff like that. That's good.
But not to be annoying, but have you guys read the book Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse?
No. I have it on my bookshelf over here.
It's a nice quick read. It's
100 pages or something.
It's 100 pages, and it's about it's basically, I think that's about the second or third Buddha or something. I don't know if
there's more.
Yeah, well, there's
more.
Well, it follows the story of Siddhartha, and he is a simple kind of peasant farmer Brahmin guy,
right?
And he leaves his family to with his friend to kind of seek enlightenment. And they kind of go as simple kind of kind of peasant monk, holy men or whatever. And they're just kind of going out on their journey, their path. And I think at one point they meet the Buddha, and he has this, they can sense in his eyes that he has this serene sense of calmness and just this insane amount of aged wisdom that just exudes from every pore in his body.
Sure.
He just has this aura. And Siddhartha is his friend, kind of I'm going to stick around and follow this guy and see if I can learn from his teaching. And Siddhartha's there's got to be a better way or whatever.
There's got to be a better way.
Pretty much. So what he does is he kind of leaves the simple life behind, and he finds that he can he finds success in maybe a bigger city, and he helps a tradesman with selling whatever cattle or something. But then he in the process of doing this, he becomes very wealthy and very successful, and he has now he has a lot of nice clothes, and he wins the favor of a very beautiful woman, and he becomes susceptible to the very carnal pleasures, and he seeks out that life, and that's nice for a while, but
let's not spoil the entire story.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here, I'm I have the book.
I want to borrow it from Grant, and I don't want to hear every single beat and story that gets hit, but we do have some listener voicemails I do want to get to as well.
Well, I guess
Kevin's very serious about not getting Siddhartha ruined.
I think because what happens is
right.
It's about his because it's very simply written, but it does mimic this the what society ingrains in us of being successful, and you do have to follow that for a certain amount in order just to have money and be alive or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. But in terms of seeking out being famous, wanting to be on SNL, getting all this stuff, that's not ever gonna make you look at Elon Musk. He's the richest guy in the world, and he's miserable. He's on Twitter all day,
picking fights with Kevin for no reason.
Climbing the ladder is not the answer to whatever whatever drives you. It's you have to figure that out within yourself and find the peace within you, and that is how you achieve true happiness or at least contentedness. Because any amount of being online or social climbing or desire for clout or money or whatever beyond a certain point is at some point some of it's practical, but at a certain point it's not going to fix you. It's not going to heal you. It's not going to make you happy. You have to figure that out yourself before you get anything else added for complications.
Well,
and that's what Siddhartha is about.
It's what George Clinton once said. He said, free your mind and your ass will follow. The kingdom of heaven is within.
There you go.
But also, George Clinton also once said, hey, lady, won't you be my dog and I'll be your tree and you can pee on me. So I wouldn't necessarily take everything George Clinton says with, without a grain of salt. But that's just my relation to what you said. That's my internalization.
Just cherry pick him. Cherry pick whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Doesn't fucking matter. You make it up.
Before we do get to our final segment, which is our listener voicemails, Ian, if you want to plug everything you got, your social media, because I feel like every time you come on the show, you have a different on Twitter.
Oh yeah, well I get embarrassed because they're either stupid or they have my name and I'm searching for a job. It's just it's Ian and then 3 underscores and then online. I didn't want it to be like too like of a certain like internet humorism like thing or whatever. And even saying that you're online is whatever. But I feel like Ian online is like kind of generic enough where it's like not going to necessarily be cringe or whatever. And Ian online 2 underscores already taken. Ian online 1 underscore already taken. So it's Ian 3 underscores online that and for all the bashing we did on social media. Why don't you give me a little follow on Twitter and help me climb the ladder to get to SNL. And no, it's that or, I've been doing comedy. Because I think the last time we talked, I wasn't really doing comedy, but I've started doing it again. I've been doing a few shows. So if by happenstance, if you listen to this and you like it and you are in the Chicago comedy scene or whatever, come out to a show. So why don't you come up and see me sometime?
Yeah, I did stand up for the first time in a while, like last week, because I'm just something to shake it up a little bit. It's all right,
I think the nice thing is I feel like it was nice to leave it behind for a while, especially during like when a lot of the stuff of the pandemic, no one really knew what was going on. Mm-hmm. But it's like, it's nice to like, that's just like another community to engage with. And
right.
Yeah, but there's like a value to it. It's just like, it's something else to work on. Like, to be honest, I kind of stopped doing it because it was very time consuming and I was like starting to work on more writing stuff. And I'm like, well, I got to get like there an hour before the fucking list goes out at the open mic and I got to sit around and wait for the fucking thing to start.
You just bring your writing stuff with you.
I could do both.
You just sit in the corner and don't socialize and just sit and write.
Might as well. I mean, but no, it's just, it's just nice to be like doing different stuff creatively and whatever.
And getting out of the house and...
Exactly. No, that's been like a big thing. It's like, I also work from home and like my commute is like here.
Right. Yeah.
Like when I come here, I don't even mind coming here because it's like, okay, I'm getting out of the house.
The office.
How exciting. Yeah, I'll clock in at the office.
You're like Patrick with the briefcase full of donuts.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, not to belabor it any longer, we got some voicemails here. Did you do the 312-788-7361 or send an audio file at thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com? Is that good? Did I do good?
That's great.
I play them. I'm going to start with this one.
Hey, Thought Flops, it's your boy, Brandon Kirkman. I know it's been a little bit, but if you recall the timeline, I got shingles. Then I got better, and then my wife got COVID, and I'm probably going to have COVID soon. That's what's been up. But yeah, I heard you have it on Ian Erickson, and I wanted to ask a very important question I've been losing sleep over, which is, do you think Jack Sparrow would be able to harness the power of the minions? As we all know, the minions can work for any type of villainous person with intent, and he's a pirate, which is kind of like a vagabond between both villain and hero. So I just want to know where you'd fall on that, if you think the minions would obey his commands or they wouldn't be able to work for him because of his good heart. Just really get into it. Anyways, I wonder what disease I'll have by next call. Bye.
There you go. So would Jack Sparrow be able to harness the power of the minions? Disease wash?
Yeah, because like last time he left a voicemail, he had shingles, like he said. Ugh. Now he might have COVID. Who knows what's going to happen next with this guy? But would the minions work for Jack Sparrow? I could see them being won over by his charisma, but I wouldn't call him evil. But
well, here's the thing. Would you call Gru evil? Because it seems like Gru is sort of your classic anti-hero. Where you see him playing poker with Heisenberg and Tony Soprano and
right.
No, that's because I was gonna say that if it was Johnny Depp, maybe, but like Jack Sparrow is.
Well, that's for the courts to decide.
Jack Sparrow is kind of a scoundrel, but like he is still posited as like likable, and like when push comes to shove, he has shown time and time again that he does the right thing. Now, would the minions follow that? I guess not. He's not necessarily a bad guy. But then you look at Gru. They follow Gru. They like Gru, but also Gru, grew into a good guy. So he
Is that why they call him that?
Yeah, because his damn heart grew 3 times. He's the Grunch. But I
don't think anyone's ever made that joke.
I ain't never seen those minions. I don't know about the minion, but they're funny. But I don't know, because the internal logic of if they're just following the great evil doers of all time, then like wouldn't they leave Gru when he becomes good? But I don't think that they seem like they're like peas and carrots again.
I was going to ask if they would. Yeah, you think they would leave his side once he became a? Well, I guess he's not.
Their work here is done.
They creatively left out of that movie when they served Hitler. Right.
The plot point I think I remember reading was that from like 1930 until 1950, the minions were like in Antarctica or something.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. During the most evil point in all of history. Yeah, sure, whatever.
Anyway, next voicemail.
Next voicemail.
Oh, this is not so much 2 minutes of hate. It's more of like something I see on Twitter every now and then.
Sounds like what I do.
I see this. I don't even follow any of these accounts, but it's fans of any 90s platformer like Crash, Spyro, Rayman.
Yes.
But they're always like anticipating news for a new sequel to any of these games.
Oh, like Banjo.
The last one I saw was something for Banjo, which I guess there was some news for that. I only saw one source for it. There hasn't been a Banjo game since 2008.
Nuts and Bolts?
Probably more if you don't count that Nuts and Bolts game as one.
I don't.
So like 20 years ago, I guess those fans came from Smash Brothers because I've never seen a big Banjo fan base before.
It's out there.
Same with Spyro the Dragon. I keep seeing these videos on YouTube. I'm not going to name the person.
Skylanders.
For new Spyro game, which I have not seen anything for in a long time.
Didn't they re-release? Didn't they do like a remake?
Yeah.
Same thing with Rayman. He hasn't had a sequel in who knows how long. 2013.
Yeah, Rayman 2.
The pattern I'm seeing here, it's just platformers for some reason, 90s platformers. Right. And I don't understand why you would wait so long for something that's most likely never going to come out, or at least not in a long time. I like Gex, and I'm not going to like anticipate for news about a new Gex game.
No, that'd be cool.
Which is most not likely ever going to come out. The only thing I can tell these people
this
is
is messier than the Deaf Herd court trial.
Try out new video games. There's millions of them now.
It would be great if
there's new franchises, new series, everything like that. You can replay some of these other games you might have missed out on. So stop waiting for something that's not going to come out anytime soon.
Is that a question?
No, that's a 2 minutes of hate.
Well, okay, I like.
He's right though. I mean.
He's right that it is annoying.
He's right,
any fan base is annoying.
Wrong.
But I do think that if you look at the trends of just like video games is different than movies, I guess, where every IP is just there. I feel like with movies, there is a threshold where like if it gets to a certain amount of success before 2016 or whatever, like if it has like a brand that resonates with people, like they are going to try to attack that from new avenues because it's easier to greenlight stuff that people already know, like existing IP or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
And so I think that you could get to a point with that with video games if we're not already there. But like there are like a lot of indie. I feel like indie games are maybe more accessible or like can be popular easier.
Yeah, there's like just weird like rights limbo with a lot of different games, and that's where it's like, I think we always talk about the prequel to Paper Mario, which is just like those characters aren't coming back because like the rights are all entangled, and like that's before Square Enix was like even a thing, and so it was like Squaresoft, and then.
But didn't
whatever the fuck, and then Nintendo, and it's just like, well, the music's owned by whoever, and the characters are owned by whoever, but and the game is owned by whoever.
I guess I would point to getting Banjo in Smash Bros. Because like that was also like, and
also like a licensing thing.
I'm
not a lawyer.
There's a lot of shit that we probably just don't know enough to talk about or whatever. But and as annoying as it is for everyone to anticipate and like think or predict that there's going to be a new thing, that kind of is like a trying to will something into an existence via posting, because if you get enough people on board, they will probably eventually navigate through whatever hoops they can to get it.
They gave Sonic plastic surgery because enough people tweeted about it.
That's true.
Yeah, that his arms were blue, or was it? They weren't blue. I don't know. I don't even know what color his arms are supposed to be.
I don't know, but I saw that at GameStop and I just started coloring his arms in because they're supposed to. Don't bring up the video. It's embarrassing. All right, we got one last voicemail here. One last voicemail here, and then the cat really needs to eat, or else she will claw a hole into that cabinet.
Jesus.
Hey, guys, I was wondering what you think of the Buzz Lightyear controversy.
I'm older than
Apparently, they recasted Tim Allen with this piece of shit Chris Evans guy. I'm fucking livid about it. Apparently, Tim Allen isn't dramatic enough. Bullshit. We all know Disney. We all know he's fucking dramatic as fuck.
That's a good point.
Have people not seen Home Improvement or the Santa Claus? This guy knows how to act, and he got his role stripped away from him. Anyway, I love what you guys do, and keep doing it. Keep being soft cops. And Grant, I hope you feel better. I know that you've been having some difficult times lately, and
he knows it.
Just try to be happy about the fact that you exist at all, and
thanks,
that you have first-person consciousness, and that this world is so
my
beautiful.
dad would never be this positive.
It's fair.
Well, that took a nice turn, I guess.
I appreciate it. I'm fine. This is like therapy for me. You know, you come in, you punch the bag, and then you're like, I don't need to punch the bag anymore.
So I mean, like the movie.
Sparred.
The movie trailer was very clear that this is Buzz Lightyear the man, not Buzz Lightyear the toy. So the toy is voiced by Tim Allen. The man is voiced by Chris Evans. No, it doesn't make any sense.
Does it
have to?
It's weird too, though, because like some of the promotional art had like Andy in the theater with the toys watching, and it's like, but if this was like the real thing, and like we know what Buzz Lightyear's voice sounds like, why the fuck does the toy sound different? Like, it makes no sense. And I get that they're going for something different or whatever, but it's also like I don't care about the origin story of Buzz Lightyear. Like, no one was asking for this. No one was asking for the origin story of Darth Vader, but we got it, and it was terrible.
Well, I think it's really just like they're looking for a way to make another Toy Story movie, and this was like the better than whatever. Like, what else can you do with a bunch of old toys? Like, oh, they became NFTs, and now they're like,
Andy, you gotta buy us.
Now they're meeting Wreck-It Ralph. Like, Wreck-It Ralph already covered like whatever they could do with the internet or whatever. So it's like, this is a way to still engage with that successful existing IP, but then also Tim Allen has now kind of been more or less a figurehead for like the right, and not that they don't engage with the right by giving like money to.
It's all very calculated and careful.
Exactly. So they have a way where they can say like, well, he's not actually
still voicing the character in like the most recent Toy Story movies when they come out with them. So
trying to understand the logic of like Disney in the current day. Just don't bother. It's all about like pleasing everybody. Like it's so carefully mathematically calculated that it's all done to be like, oh well, if we do this and then there's probably boardroom meetings with like graphs and charts to show like the different kinds of people and groups and races and everything that would be happy or mad about.
Honestly, it's not a position I envy, because I would imagine that people are just like tearing their fucking hair out. Like, if we put him in, they hate us. If we don't put him in, they hate us. And everybody hates us, but they love us.
Well, somebody's like doing a line of coke. What if Hear me out. What if
Line
the
of
toy...
coke. What are we talking about? Tim Allen?
What if the toy was different than the guy?
Well, I think that is actually like a brilliant way to not have to get Tim Allen, or without like by having him, because he is controversial at this point, by having the character be a different, like a quasi version of him. Like they don't have they
He's
can,
always been a little
play coy. They can play coy around like, well, we didn't hire him because it's not the guy. Like they have a technical excuse, and like the right can
that's honestly the best thing. Yeah,
but it's also like the type of blow up that they would do about this would be for 1 week until there's a bigger news story that they can get mad at the libs about or whatever. Yep. And so it doesn't matter. And like, you know, whatever, you can like Tim Allen as the voice of Buzz Lightyear. Did you see his recent tweet about how he took his daughter to Disneyland and he overheard someone, he's like, I'm worried about bringing my daughter to Disneyland about sexuality because I overheard a kid saying that he might be sexually attracted to skillets, and he said he was a pansexual. It was like the pansexual joke.
I did not know that was
a recent one. Yeah, did he talk about subverting the format?
Now, did you just make that up, or did he actually?
No, that actually. I'm pretty sure that actually happened.
That is.
But yeah, it's just like, you know, they're gonna it's obviously like the best thing is to not look at it, to not pay attention to it, because it's like it's not for you.
Don't look. Don't look.
Yeah, exactly. If Disney does something that makes you upset or that you think is stupid, you're potentially right. But also, like, by engaging with it, like, you're making it matter, or like you're giving it any extra weight that you don't need it to, because it's like,
I'm better than that. I don't watch Disney movies. I listen to Brooklyn podcasts, and I get involved in all the drama and the gossip.
And I watch Cartoon Network.
Yeah. Anyway.
The guy that dated Adam Friedland is on Succession now. Guess I'm not watching that show.
The guy that dated
the girl that dated. I got ahead of myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a funny Freudian slip, but that was not on purpose. That was all natural, baby.
Anywho, if that inspired you to leave us a voicemail, like Grant said, give us a call. Our phone number is 312-788-7361, or you can always leave us a voicemail at thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to support the show and get a backlog of bonus content and be a part of the episode in our live recording chats, head on over to patreon.com/thoughtcops. I want to give a shout out to one of our older patrons this week, Blake, who's been a patron of the show since September of 2018. Thank you, Blake.
I can't believe that y'all have been sticking around. It means so much, because we're like,
we bought this,
man. Oh yeah, we bought
audio mixer, because the old
bought
one
a new
broken.
Audio interface. It seems to be working better than the old one. Nothing has crashed yet. Put that down
fancy.
Carefully.
Very good stuff.
You just put it down and it just like stops working.
Oh fuck.
Thank you all so much. Yeah, we could not afford this if the show was not. You know. This was
I could have
very expensive.
It's nice to pay for it with the money that we make doing the show.
Right, right.
If it's going to go somewhere, it should come from the show's budget and then go back into the show.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Anyway, Ian, thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Thank you very much for having me. I feel like I should. How many times is it now? Is this 3, 4?
It's 3 or 4. Not exactly
next time you better have my 5 timers jacket ready.
Yeah, we'll go to. We'll take care of it.
Yeah, we'll get you handled. Thanks everybody for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much for having me. This was fun. Bye.
Appreciate it. See you, Space Cop.